Welcome to episode 29 of Lost in Immersion, your weekly 45-minute stream about innovation. As VR and AR veterans, we will discuss the latest news of the immersive industry. So, hi everyone, and if Fabian, if you want to start, please.
Yeah, hello, thanks. So today the topic will be about Apple. So there was a conference from Apple last week with the release of new products, new iPhones, new watch, AirPods, and a lot of news. And there was quite interesting ones that also relate to what is of our interest, the Vision Pro. So we can start with the Apple Watch, and the major new feature is the double tap. So without touching the watch and just by pressing the index and the thumb, as you can see on the video here. Um, oh, sorry, once more time. Yeah, like this, it can trigger an action on the watch itself. So it's very similar to the gesture that we saw in the press release of the Apple Vision Pro, and also it starts to make us think of, is the Apple Watch becoming an accessory for the Vision Pro? We talk here that the Vision Pro is missing accessory, missing controllers. So is the Apple Watch becoming a controller for the Vision Pro? So that's very interesting that they are starting at this new way of capturing actions. So they capture touch, the voice, of course, and now maybe the actions. I'm currently the name of exactly the scientific name of this is slipping my mind, but um, so that was the first announcement. The next one is a bit more technical, but still, the AirPods Pro will feature a lossless audio, and they can connect to the Apple Vision Pro. Um, so if you've already used a VR headset with speakers, it can be very loud, and it can bother, if you are using it in the train or whatever. So it's better to have devices like that have a good noise cancellation. So that was interesting as well. And on top of that, if in the future, as we saw a few episodes back, they implement the patents that they have of having the capture of brain activity using the AirPods Pro, that might also serve as an interface for the Vision Pro. So that was the second news, and the latest one is the iPhone Pro has the capability to capture what they call spatial videos. So these are like the videos in 3D that can then be replayed on the Vision Pro. Um, so yeah, that was the three very I think worthwhile news from last week, and so we can discuss that. What do you think, Seb?
I think it's nice to see the ecosystem that they are building around their device. That has always been the case with Apple. They already try to make some interaction which is between all their device, and they seem to move forward. And like you said, they implement some interaction and some component that can be interesting to use in sync with the Vision Pro. So yeah, we'll see how they make things easy for developer to implement.
Cool. What about you, Guillaume?
Well, several things to say about this. First of all, for the Apple Watch, I can't help myself but think about the Mayo bracelet. I don't know if you remember this. It was a startup that created some kind of forearm bracelet. You put it on your arm, and it was supposed to detect the muscle contraction for you to have a very high definition hand tracking. Unfortunately, this bracelet didn't work because when you received the bracelet, they simply said to you that it was your job to make the knowledge base for it to work. So they were just providing the device and not all the software behind it. So it's a very nice piece of art that is on my shelf right now. So I'm very glad to see that this kind of technology. I don't know how it works, this Apple Watch, but I guess it should detect some modification with your um, finger movement or whatever. So I've always thought that this bracelet things and detecting the finger movement should be a great way of tracking your hand. So I'm very glad that they are working in this direction. So very nice. For the airport one, I saw that there is some kind of activated the low latency Bluetooth that is not available right now with the current AirPods because people tried to use them with VR application and they said that there was so too much latency between the sound and what you get in the AirPods. However, there's some kind of controversy as well because it seems to be just like a software upgrade for it to work. However, Apple wants you to buy the new version of it. So yeah, some users are not that uh, glad of the announcement because I guess there are some AirPods too, and they just bought them, and they are not. This feature is not available for those who just bought the new AirPods. So maybe some software updates for them in the future, but right now, if you want the new features, you have to buy the iPod AirPods Pro. So not so nice, but we are used to this kind of business model with Apple, so not very surprised about this. And finally, about this 3D scan, I saw that there is also an update with the iOS 17 with some object scan application. It really much like it looks like the reality capture for by Epic Games, meaning that you have to select some kind of bounding box around the object you want to scan. You are turning around as much as is needed, and then you have the 3D model available for you to place in AR. But I don't know if you can export this in which kind of format. I don't know, but yeah, it's very interesting to see that Apple is really embracing the 3D scan ideology and for several years now. And I don't know if you remember, but Google was the one that was working on this back in the days with the Project Tango, and we can see that Google completely forgot about this at some point, and Apple just got the ball on the 3D scan and volumetric 3D and so on. So very interesting to see, as Seb just said, that they are building much more than just the Apple Vision Pro. They are enhancing the whole their old devices as well, and we can easily see that there will be a very strong interconnection between all these devices at some point. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. It's very nice to see Apple like moving their pieces on the chess of spatial computing one after the other. Um, it's a very smart move. Yeah.
And we now know why they waited so long. It's because they wanted all the technologies to be mature enough to make a whole at some point.
Mm. Okay. Cool.
So anything more to add, Seb? Otherwise,
No.
you can talk about your topic.
All right. So my topic was about Roblox, adding some AI assistant to their game, which will allow user to make for the first time in a metaverse environment, create directly by text the environment they want to be in and share that with others. So this we talk about that, but this was missing because before that you had to create everything yourself, or buy some assets and integrate that into apps before being able to share your environment. And now with the help of AI you can really generate some really cool environment in matter of minutes within the app. So you can't export what you did, but you can share that with others and have people joining the game that you create. There is also, it's not only for the 3D, it's also for the interaction and the script that you can generate that will control how your object behave. So it seems very powerful, and as soon as it will be available, I think I will test that to see how far we can go with the AI tool for this kind of environment. Any thought on that, guys?
Um, yeah, so it's a very very impressive demo, a very impressive video, and as usual with AI and generative AI, the concern that I have is it actually as good as they advertise, or will it actually take someone a lot of different iterations? And are we seeing here in the video the best case? And so yeah, that's my concern. But otherwise, if it works as advertised, yeah, it's a pretty impressive way for Roblox to expand and to open up. They have their interest as well to open up a new creator economy in their platform. Um, I think one of the predictions of the Roblox CEO a few weeks back during his keynote was that Roblox developer will be valued up to 1 billion, I think, or 1 million or 1 billion. I'm forgetting the scale, but it's impressive numbers. So yeah, I think Roblox is really pushing into creating a real creator economy similar to the creator economies that we can see on YouTube or Instagram. So yeah, but again, I hope it works as advertised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have pretty much the same remark as Fabien. I'm very curious to see if it's a hit or miss kind of implementation, and if it creates the same effect as Midjourney, where you spend a lot of time iterating. But they have new tools now. But yeah, at some point you had to redo more. For like a very long loop of iteration to find something that is satisfying. Um, Once again, can you move some objects or customize the scene, or it's just the prompt that is giving you the output you want. um, and as Fabian said, also we all know what happened with the Minecraft community. If you give the community the right tools, they can create some very impressive results. And I guess the Roblox one could give us the same kind of result as well, um, especially with their community, which we know was very young at some point, but those they are getting older and I hope they are getting to the developer slash creator side as well as they are growing up. So those who were 12 or 10 are now 14 or 16, and they if they kept their passion for the platform, we could see very interesting results in the upcoming months or years if we are giving them the tools to do so. So I guess we were a bit um right, we are kind of old and we didn't really understand the Roblox situation, but I guess at this point we can't close our eyes to what is going on with this platform, and we should be very not careful, but yeah, have a lot of attention to what is going on, because it may be uh, the future of the metaverse at some point, because one, they have a huge community, and two, now there are sort of strong partnership with bigger company like Meta, and they are supporting the VR side as well. They have the financial part with the microtransaction. So yeah, they are ticking a lot of boxes toward the metaverse implementation. So yeah, very interesting to see what is coming up in the future with this.
Okay, so it sounds like we will all dig in as soon as it's available and try on our side and come back to you about it. One thing that is really interesting for me is that doing a lot of VR experience, there is a lot to taking on the development side and optimizing everything, all the mesh, and I wonder, and that's I think one of the tests I will do as soon as it's available. But I wonder how it handles the LOD, the all the tools that you use and all the technique that you use to optimize your game, so it works great on all the different platforms. Optimize the shader, etc. So yeah, that would be also something I will test a lot, because if it's optimize all that part, that then it's a huge improvement on the development side of this kind of environment. Mm. And so, following that subject, I wanted to talk about what we talk about several weeks now. It's a 3D Gaussian splatting coming now to Unity. So being able to take, like we already described, some picture of a complete environment from multiple position, uh, generate a point cloud from that, and then use that new technique, the 3D Gaussian plotting, to use that 3D point cloud to generate a 3D model that needs to be rendered not as triangles, as what we are used to do with 3D model, but as really the point cloud that itself, but with some reworking on each points to make some splatting, some sorry, some way to arrange the point cloud to make some 3D shape out of that, but not triangles, more oval shape. And so here we can see how it renders inside Unity. So we were saying, I think it was last week or the week before, that we were missing maybe a tool to be able to display 3D Gaussian splatting in real time, and that's it. That's coming. So this one is a bit blurry, but there is several ones that came out, which are quite impressive compared to what we had before with a scan, what you could have with a scan with a phone. Using that techniques, it's ready to improve everything, make it it make it available on small device, because you can render the point cloud and have this kind of rendering apparently. There is some test that has been done to display environment in VR. So the 3D Gaussian here is displayed in VR, and you're able to move around and see really the environment as it is. So same as the AI tool, it seems like this new way of generating 3D is moving forward very fast, and improving a lot the ability to generate a 3D model anything actually, because with that technique you don't have the issue that we had before with transparent glass or stuff like that, or reflective material that are always tricky to get correctly. But here it seems to work perfectly. And just for information, or everything seems to come, all the research and development on this technique seems to come from a paper coming from the INRIA of Rennes in France. So it's nice to see that the French community is moving a great deal on this new technique. What's your thought on that, guys?
For yeah,
Um,
but let's go, Fabien. Sorry.
okay, sorry, thanks. Um, so it's amazing, and it's really nice to see that very quickly this technique can be used in a real-time engine, and is also it seems to work at a high frame rate, so that's very nice. Um, I don't have much to add to that. Maybe one question is, so this is static, I guess. For now, it's like a static environment, um, and I wonder if at some point, like moving environment could be captured, like a video, and then how this could compete with what we just talked about, the Apple Vision Pro spatial videos. So um, yeah, it's interesting to see the both the hardware. So on Apple side is using two cameras, and on this side it's like more software solution. So which one will win? We'll see.
I'm not sure it's not compatible, the two. You could generate this way with their phone, the same kind of environment, but even better because you have two cameras. So each time you take a picture, you have two point cloud that can be more precise, uh, and use the same way the Gaussian splatting technique to have that in the Vision Pro afterwards. That might even be the way they already do things, kind of. What about you, Guillaume?
Yeah. Just as a joke, it's the infamous round pixel that we've been talking about for years. So it's a bit funny about this, but yeah, um, the question I have is about the input data. Do we have to turn around with your cameras for like several hours, or is this like instant? What kind of movie? Because I think this is a video you need for this. So what kind of input data we are talking about to have this kind of result? I'm seeing that on the other videos that are talking about the Insta 360, which could be cool because it's should be, yeah, it means that it is a 360 camera, so I guess um, uh, less video incoming for this to be able to project the 3D results that we are seeing. um, but yeah, as a 3D scan user, we know that it can be very time consuming to have the correct input data, especially the video or photograph for us to have the a quality 3D scan at some point. So I don't know if you have any information about the amount of data needed to have this kind of result that are very impressive.
Yeah, I can share with you a video later that shows exactly how how this guy did this 3D character capture.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it doesn't take a lot of time, but you need, of course, all the angle to make sure you have all the texture and all the 3D points covering the wall surrounding of the user of the character you want to take. But
Yeah, for the object, I understand, but for
for the environment, yeah.
yeah, the street, we can see that
Mm.
even the trees are well defined. The building upstairs are like very well defined as well. So how can they do that?
Except,
Is this
yeah.
a drone intake, or
Hmm.
it seems like a drone intake because I can't see how you
They're
can.
able to fly, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
But you can see also that they did not go too high, because here
Mm-hmm.
you can see that they don't
Yeah.
have the information, so nothing is under.
But if you are using a 360 camera with a stick, you could probably get this kind of results. I
Hmm.
don't know. We should try this.
Yeah, okay. That's the next step.
Well, um, the advantage of NERF or 3D Gaussian splatting is that you can have a different point of view than the one that you took. So I'm not really surprised that they can go like they can fly, because this is what this kind of technology allows. Um, but yeah, I'm really curious to understand how they did the capture. Um, the best would be, as you said, Guillaume, with Insta360, just walk around in the area that you want to capture, and you're done. It could be very nice.
What seems amazing to me is they managed to get that place completely empty in Paris to be able to record that. So I don't know at what time they went there, but or if it was close to public. But yeah, I wonder also how fun apart. I wonder how it works with people moving around in your capture. If it's breaking completely the capture because you have some points that are moving through space. Uh,
Yeah, but yeah, your remark is very interesting because it should mean that you can't spend like hours walking
yeah.
around with your camera because, as you mentioned, Paris is a bit crowded, so there's people everywhere. So unless it's at 3 a.m. in the morning, and even at 3 a.m. there are still people around. So yeah, or maybe
Same
they
in
raise them at some point. I don't know.
same in a natural environment. If you have some
Mm-mm.
animals and or some leaves that are moving on a tree, I wonder how the point cloud is generated and how good the Gaussian splatting works
Mm-mm.
when you use this kind of thing. And I think that's it for me.
Okay, great. Any last word on this? Oh, okay. So let me. Okay. So for my part, I would like to talk about the Unity. Maybe you can call it the Unity drama. But we've to make a bit of context at this point. We already know that Unity had some kind of controversy with their AI implementation, which is called Muse, if I can remember correctly, because they announced that all the data that are used as input or everything that would be created with their uh, artificial intelligence would be used as input data for their learning data set. So meaning that all the creation part would no longer be part, would be your property, and some content creators were not very happy with it, as we can understand. And in the latest news about Unity, they change their licensing structure and how they are making their fees about the Unity, and they announced this well without any preparation of the community, and it impacts is very important for some structure, meaning that some licensing um, configuration are not available anymore, and smallest company have to purchase the bigger licensing fee that they were not used to. And for some startups, I heard that their licensing fee just double in a matters of weeks. So they are just like they're not very happy about this, especially when it's not announced a very long time, because we all know that when you have a startup, these kind of fees can be very impactful on your everyday activities. And on top of that, they added the fact that when you are when you are passing a certain threshold of installation of your apps, you have to pay seats fee, which is 20 cent per seat when you it's over 1 million. And once again, it impacts some medium studios that are becoming bigger, because when you are getting some success with your app, at some point you are getting a lot of installation, and it should like very impact the evolution of this as a company at this point as well. And after this, so to be clear, a lot of forum and LinkedIn as well, it just exploded with messages and posts of different kind of professional. There was like developers and company owners as well, and everyone was like, okay, this is the end. The trust is completely broken with Unity. They are changing their policy and the way they are working with us at any point, and there's there's not there's no dialogue between the community that is using Unity and their board. So at this point, a lot of people were just yeah they were just fed up with Unity, and they are trying to find other platform. So just to show you the court, yeah, the action of Unity is just plunging since the announcements of this, despite the fact that they had very good results after they announced their partnership with Apple. Now they kind of lost all the benefits they had with this announcement. And seeing what they've done, they are trying now to apologize, to clarify the situation with the developers, how harassing the harm is done, and a lot of studios that were beginning some projects are now switching to other platform. Just for the fun of it, we can see that some executive at Epic Games, they are just posting this kind of, of thing, just to troll or just to poke Unity around. They are just reminding us that Unreal is free to download, to use, and ship, and that their fees and revenue are very clear, and that they didn't change for many years. So it's kind of funny, this engine war right now between Epic Games and Unity. And when I was searching for alternative to Unity, a lot of people were talking about Gobot, which personally I didn't know at this time, and it seems to be a fair competitor to Unity. It reminds me of the beginning of Unity back in the days. So it's still a very young platform with a lot to things to do, but as they have some uh, inspiration with Unity or Epic Games, I guess this kind of platform could be, uh, yeah, improving very fast with the community, especially if I see correctly, their assets, most of them are free with the MIT licensing, or and it's beginning to have all the assets and blocks that Unity is currently having. So very interesting to see, and we should, yeah, check out the GoBot at some point to see if it's this platform is not a viable alternative to Unity, or despite the fact that you can switch to Epic Games if you want. Um, so very interesting to see how a giant like Unity can fall very quickly just because they didn't please or they didn't listen. Just simply as that, they just listen to their customer base and their community. So I don't know what you are thinking about, you guys.
Um, yeah, it would be very interesting to see what happens because, as you said, in the next following days they will do another press release. So we don't know what will happen, but like what just happened over the and not only last week, I think over the course of the past years, um, it's just a blueprint on how to lose trust
Mm.
from the clients, and that's a door that will never open again, except maybe if there is a huge change in leadership at Unity, if they really change the way that and the people, unfortunately, that are in the leading team at Unity. Um, uh, so yeah, I think there was, you mentioned the issue with AI. There was a partnership a few months or years back with a company that was a bit shady. Um, so
Yeah, they are forcing some company to buy some plugins as well, like Pixies. I don't know if you heard about this, but yeah, they bought the company a few years back, and now if you are like some activities in the industrial field, they are kind of forcing you to buy this plugin, which is a 3D point cloud management in Unity and
mm,
3D CAD models simplification as well. So they are forcing some plugins for you to buy if you want to use Unity at some point.
yeah, yeah. So again, very curious to see what will happen in the following days and even more in the following weeks and months. Um, just I think to nuance a bit for studio like us to switch from Unity or the complete our complete pipeline and plugins and things that we developed to another engine is a huge work. So it's not something that is done can be done in days, but we'll see, yeah, in the next month and years to come, how this will affect the the game engine wars, as you say, the game.
Yeah, and if you add on top of that the fact that it has been 4 years that they released new version and new version, which are not optimized and not being able to render things in good quality or not consistent through time. Every time they change version, everything, a lot of things change. Not everything, but a lot of things change, and you have to rework your project. And it's even a nightmare to find. They released the URP solution for the rendering, and currently on mobile device, it's a nightmare to find which version of Unity you need to use with which version of URP. There is a lot of forum talking about that. Nobody from Unity seems to move forward. They still release some new version, but there is no optimization done, so it's not. I'm not trusting the platform right now as I was before. Um, I'm we are still switching back every time to built-in render pipeline, which they are not making progress on because it's stable and at least it works correctly. So it's sad to see that they are pushing a lot of things forward, but not fixing a lot of bugs that they have inside the platform. And compared to what you can do now with Unreal and the results we can start to see even on mobile platform with Unreal. Yeah, the switch to Unreal seems to be something we need to consider soon. Definitely.
Yeah, I guess this stability issue that is like very linked to Unity for the last years, as becoming like a nightmare right now. I've seen lots of posts and comments that they are not succeeding and getting something stable at this point, and that's why they have lots of different iteration of their engine right now. And something I discovered a few days back is that you can't have the possibility to convert, meaning like your project from one version to another. You have to download the given version of your project. Let me explain. If you, for example, receive a new project from a colleague that made it in a given version, and you don't have the given version, uh, we used to have this kind of conversion to the newer version of Unity, and now it's not available anymore. You have to download the specific version of the project. On one hand, it's it guarantees more stability because we know that the conversion was not perfect in the past. However, it means that you will have not like five version of Unity, you have 10 now on your laptop or PC, which is which has been a symptom of Unity users. You can see if you are a dev, Unity dev, you know that you have like dozens of Unity versions of your on your PC, and we got used to that, but yeah, maybe it's not that professional anymore, because I don't know if you can remember for old timers as us, but when this changed the way they license the sorry the version their engine, at some point it was just a number, and now it's a year plus the version. And they promised us that there won't be any more than 3 updates per year of their engine, and we can see that there are updates like every day or every week. So they once again the trust is not that good with them, and we are used with that to that. But yeah, now that it's a major player like Epic Game, they should have a more stable or less version of Unity coming. That's my point of view. So how many versions do you have of Unity on your
26.
26?
Yeah, yeah, I have to make some cleanup.
So yeah, we'll see what this damage will be doing, because we know that they have some exclusivity partnership with Apple and Meta, I guess now. So normally they shouldn't be uh, impacted with this, because if people want to develop for Apple Vision Pros, they have to use Unity. Uh, so yeah, we'll see if it like save them from losing too many developers and getting their community completely shrink at some point. Okay, anything more to add?
No, good.
No? Okay, so it's a wrap up for today. Thank you guys for all these interesting topics, and we'll see next week for another episode of Lost in Immersion. See you, bye.
Thanks. Bye.